Holy crap, I do not know where to start with this one. So, before we get into this, I just want to say, disclaimer, if you haven't seen the movie yet, please do not watch this video. This is a spoiler review. It's really tough for me to really review any films in depth without reviewing any major plot points, so I think the best way to go in this film is as blind as freaking possible. I had heard some speculation, but for the most part, I avoided spoilers, and that just made the film so much more enjoyable for me. So avoid all those articles and avoid this video. Come back in 2 hours and 40 minutes and then watch this video. But for the rest of you who have seen the film, this is my official review for Avengers Infinity War. Let's go. Let me just say that this movie met my expectations and then did the impossible and surpassed them. That is high praise. I'm not expecting that from a Marvel movie. Even some of my favorite Marvel movies that I hold in really high regard, like SpiderMan Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm still like, okay, this is typical comic book fare. But this film is just, it feels different in a way. They made all these characters believable on screen and gave them pretty hefty amounts of screen time. Like, they really did a balancing act here, and they did it successfully, in my opinion. If you're looking for a character, get some recognition, chances are they get their time to shine. They get their moments. But even the characters that, we saw like 2 years ago, even when they entered in the movie, like the audience just like applauding and cheering. Like even when Wakanda showed up, like we saw Wakanda like earlier this year. Like the audience just like, woo, including me. Like the best place to see this film is definitely in a theater with a bunch of people around you, if that's your kind of thing. But I think the most interesting part was seeing Doctor Strange and Iron Man interact. People have criticized Doctor Strange for having sort of the same character as Iron Man, but like they do stray a bit here and there, and Doctor Strange has sort of learned a different lesson than Iron Man really has, if he has at all. But it was just kind of cool seeing them have their quarrels, And oh man, the action in this movie is phenomenal. Somehow, this movie manages to have like equal amount of dialogue-driven character scenes and like action set pieces. Like there's so many memorable moments. The train station scene between Cap, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, and the Black Order, like, oh, that was so cool. The part where Iron Man, Spidey, and Doctor Strange execute Star-Lord's plan was awesome. And of course, the charge in Wakanda, the one that's been the centerpiece of all the trailers, that was just really cool too. Oh my god. And Thanos is the best superhero movie villain of all time. I don't care what you say. Joker from The Dark Knight. Nah. This guy right here is great. Yeah, I could have wanted a little more flashback from him. Mostly what we got was the stuff for Gamora, which was interesting, but I really want a little more elaboration on why he wants the universe balanced or something. Is there any more to it than that? Is there anything personal there for him? But I'm hoping they'll explore that in the next one. But he was he was just brutal and intimidating. I wanted to frickin' punch through the theater screen when at the end, after what he'd done, he was just sitting there smiling. Smug little smile of his looking at the sunset. Yeah, I hope he's happy. Frickin' jerk. But I think the best testament to the quality of this film is just the element of surprise. This film is so surprising. There's so many twists and turns in this movie, you won't be able to count them on your frickin' fingers. In the same scene, Red Skull returns, and Gamora is pushed off a frickin' cliff by her own father just so we can get some magic shiny rocks. That is the level we're talking about here. all of Asgardia is wiped out in the first scene. Peter Dinklage forges Thor's axe, which, by the way, when he uses it for the first time, is just one of the best scenes in the entire movie. Thor is freaking OP. Seriously, even the deaths we were expecting, like Iron Man or Captain America's, didn't even happen. Like, the twist that we were expecting didn't even happen. It was a different twist. It's just, oh. I'm going to talk about the ending real soon, but I'd just like to say, in a recent video, I did complain about Marvel's fake out deaths, which, don't get me wrong, they're still pretty annoying. But because of that trope, I wasn't expecting any of the deaths that happened. Like, dude, like Vision, Loki, Gamora. I still cannot get over Gamora. Seriously. And as for the ending, where Thanos snaps his fingers, everyone just disintegrates. That part had my friend sitting next to me, like, welling up in freaking tears. Usually Marvel tries to aim towards the younger demographic. For this part, they did not hold back, dude. Particularly SpiderMan scene. Oh, God, that part is so heartbreaking. Like, that's what did it for me. I was like, oh, Russo brothers. Ooh, Kevin Feige. You're making us wait a year to see what happens here. But seriously, give this man, Tom Holland, a frickin' Oscar. He deserves it. He's an incredible actor. Seriously, I can't wait for Dr. Dolittle. I know there are a few confirmed sequels on the way for, Black Panther and Spider-Man already coming, but it doesn't change how this scene is so disturbing, and it's perfect setup for the next film, where I'm really curious to see what the Avengers are going to do to deal with this. I mean, I think that, you could see in that scene that it really took a toll on Tony Stark. I bet Captain America's going to feel something for his New York buddy. Like, oh, I don't know. Just, there's so much mystery in the air right now for the people who haven't read the comics. And even though I was expecting him to say it, because obviously he said in the trailers, but when Thanos says this to Iron Man,
I hope they remember you.
It sent chills down my spine, dude. Josh Brolin will have to go in hiding for the next several years. I'm gonna say 3 decades or so. People are just gonna be out for him right now. Alright, so let's get into the small problems I had with the movie. 1, Iron Man's suit does not look good. Alright? It's overpowered. It has weird abilities. It looks like crap. The faceplate is really freaking small. It just does not look like a suit. The CGI is just freaking cartoony. Be gone. 2, why is the Hulkbuster suit in Wakanda? I don't get that. That's a major plot hole. The first time in Avengers Age of Ultron, it was shot from space. Now it's in Wakanda. How did that happen? They didn't explain it all. So yeah, that was kind of a dumb thing. 3, I kind of wish they bridged the gap from Civil War a bit more. Tony doesn't end up calling Cap. Cap doesn't really sort anything out with Black Panther. I mean, there's a little nods to it, I guess, but I think they should have had a scene of dialogue or something to sort that out. But I'm hoping after the fighting's over, they might do something like that in part 2. 4, I think I would have liked to see more shots cutting back to the impact on Earth. The first 2 Avengers movies really made a show of showing, the citizens in New York running away from the threat. I think we could have used a little more of that here. It would have accentuated, the pure scale of this movie. That said, I did really like that most of the film was set in space on other planets, because, past Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor Ragnarok, we haven't really seen a ton of that, so it was cool that they were as I said, bringing the fight to Thanos. That was really cool to see. 5, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and Howard the Duck did not make an appearance in the film. The last one of those was a major grievance for me. Made me almost want to walk out of the theater, but luckily they did show this dude from Arrested Development. So, I'm content with that, I guess. Infinity War is the most ambitious crossover event in movie history. Overall, Avengers Infinity War was a huge, thrilling, emotional roller coaster of a movie. It had my heart pounding the entire time. It is so worth getting the theater experience for it, and I give it a strong 8 out of 10. So it's very close to a 9, but there are a few problems here and there. Definitely some comic book movieisms that set it back from being a 9 out of 10. But I don't give most movies a score this high, so that should be proof that this is a movie really worth seeing if you like these kinds of movies already and you have some exposure to the Marvel Universe so far. That said, I cannot wait for part 2, and it's gonna be a long year. I wanna die. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe so you can catch some of my other MCU Week videos. There are 4 of them. It's been really cool doing this little mini-series. I might do something like this again. It was quite a lot of fun. And hit the bell notifications button so you don't miss my next video, which will be a review of every single MCU film I have seen thus far. And if you've seen Infinity War, comment down below what you thought of it. I'm really interested to hear the reaction to this movie. I think I am about as excited to see people's thoughts on this movie as I am to see the actual movie. So, yeah, let me know what you thought. And as always, I will see you in the next video, and mighty